Today, while I'm filming this, it is December 1st. It is day one of Vlogmas, although you probably won't see this for probably day 9, because I already have a whole bunch of videos uploaded. I don't want to get behind. You know, life gets crazy. You guys know how it goes, and I really want to make sure that I stick to this challenge. I challenged myself to do it, but it's like my gift to you guys to do a video every single day for you in December. Happy holidays. So today I want to talk to you about transfers. What happened was last night, well, first let me rewind. The reason I'm telling you that it's day one of Vlogmas is because I'm getting the sweetest comments back. I was kind of, let's see if I can get my steering wheel out of the way, because that's like a little annoying. Hello, real life. I'm really trying to get better equipment here, but you just have to bear with me while I'm just doing it. Makeshift, my favorite word lately. Just doing it for my phone. But I'm getting so many amazing comments on my first Vlogmas video. People were like, oh my god, you're doing Vlogmas, I'm so excited, which makes me so excited, especially that first video. I just felt like I babbled and babbled and babbled. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. My name is Ro. I am the founder of Strong Prison Wives and Families, and I use my years of experience to help prison wives and family members feel educated, empowered, supported, and loved, not only while their loved ones are serving time, but if you stick with me and use the tools and exercises that myself and our SPWF volunteers, as well as members, share with you, they will get out, they will stay out, you will break statistics. What is that? Will I edit that out? I don't even know. It's too funny. It's like Christmas and statistics, maybe? I don't know. You will break statistics, you will beat stigma, and they will get out and stay out, and hopefully you will live happily ever after. So today I want to talk to you guys about transfers. Last night I posted a live video and a question about transfers came up, and I went all through it. So this might be a repeat for some people, but I unfortunately had to take down that live video because I didn't realize while I was filming there was a package in the background that I was getting ready to take to UPS to return, and it had my home address on it. And safety first always, so not cool to post our home addresses on live on YouTube or anybody, including trolls. As you guys have seen, I've had some fun with some trolls on my live videos recently. It's kind of getting warm in here, crazy. So I decided that safety first. Of course, I'm not leaving my home address up on Instagram, nor should you guys post your home address or phone number, and even sometimes personal emails, or since we're doing a public service announcement, this has turned into, your loved ones' information online, if that's something that you want to keep private. I encourage you not to. Adam doesn't care. He's an open book. He's like, I don't care if people write to me. I will probably throw the letter away if it's somebody crazy. Anyway, he'll probably like laugh with me about it. Although I should ask him if that's ever happened, because according to me right now, it hasn't, but who knows. Anyway, but he has gotten some sweet letters from people from Strong Prison Wives, so that's cool too. I have no problem posting his information, but that's because we had a long conversation. He was the one that helped me decide that I was going to be doing this anyway, so we're okay with that, but you need to decide that what works for you. We at Strong Prison Wives and Families do not post people's personal information or anything like that. Point is, I had to take down the video, so we are going to talk through transfers again today. So first of all, my experience is with the federal system. I do not have experience with Adam transferring in the state. First of all, he was in New Jersey state for 3 years, he on a 12-year sentence when he was 18 years old. I did talk about that on the video I had to pull down because somebody asked me if this was his first offense. No, unfortunately, he is a statistic. Really, Ro? Really, Ro? You guys know I can't speak. It just keeps getting worse every video, I swear. He's a statistic. There we go. And he did get out. He had a rough childhood. He got in with a bad crowd. He had some bad people who were advising him. It's a really sad story that I will let him tell one day when he comes home. So, he did 3 years. He got 12 years for a robbery. He did 3, got out on parole. And then, unfortunately, a few years later, he caught this Fed case that he's doing right now, the 213-year sentence, where I did talk about on a video called how 213 years in the feds, how I explained exactly how he got that sentence. I will link it up in the YouTube card, but I will not point because I always point and then it doesn't happen on time, and I'm like a little too OCD to allow that to happen. So anyway, transfers. So my experience is with the federal system. What happens is either you can get transferred a few different reasons. stopping for a second. Adam says I'm the only person in the world who counts on their fingers backwards. Like I start with my pinky and he's like, whoa, when I count. He's like, careful with those fingers, because I have this weird pinky. People are going to throw up. I have a weird pinky that bends all the way back. I must have broke it when I was little, or like there was no cartilage in there. Look, one of my stupid human tricks. Isn't that crazy? It's like a rubber band. Like there's nothing in there. And it does. It bends all the way back. I'm sorry if I just made you throw up. So when I do it, like my fingers bend. I guess I'm double jointed. And he's like, whoa, watch yourself with those fingers. He'll tease me. And then he goes, you're the only person. Everybody goes 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you guys have noticed it on my videos. Comment below if you have. I never noticed I do it before until my last visit where Adam said that. He's like, you're the only person in the world that counts backwards. Maybe it's a European thing, even though I'm not from Europe, but my parents are. Maybe they do it. I don't know. No, actually, Europe, they go 1, 2. I think they go 1, 2, 3. Like they start with their thumb. I don't know, but they add their thumb. Where in America, we start here. 3, 4, 5. Anyway, do you care? I'm babbling once again. So, back to transfers. My experiences with the feds. So, what minute are we at? 6 minutes. Oh, shit. Somebody's going to comment about how I babble too long in my videos. But it's VLOGMAS, so I'm allowed to. Like, because it's like a vlog, you know? Anyway, I'll post in the description bar where you can fast forward to talk about, to hear me talk about transfers, which would be 6:25. So if I forget to do that, you guys, because I'm posting my Vlogmas videos pretty fast, somebody comment and tell me to do that, and I will. 6:33 now. Okay, let's go. So my experience, again, is with the federal system. Adam has transferred a couple of times since he's been in the feds. He's been transferred quite a few times, but since I've been back in his life, he's transferred a couple of times. So what they do is they could either transfer for a reason where a disciplinary thing, they get in a fight, something happens, they get in trouble. Now in the feds, they don't have to keep them in their state. They do not have to keep them in their region. The federal system is broken up into different regions. So we're in the Northeast region, there's the Southeast, there's the Mid-Atlantic. If you're curious on all of the different regions, I don't know them or what states are included in each region, you can go to bop.gov, and then just look for, there's something on there in the tabs. That's where you can find your inmate, where he is, if he's transferring, the amount of time they have. But also in there, if you just look up the facilities and the regions, you'll see there's a map and they have all of the regions broken up. Adam currently is in the Northeast region. So usually they'll keep you within your region or 500 miles of your release address. Not always, but usually. As long as you're transferring for something that is not disciplinary. If it's disciplinary, it is no holds barred, gloves are off. They can transfer you to wherever they decide to transfer you. A lot of times they will punish you and transfer you straight across the country to some place where nobody could reach you. That, or they do have something called diesel therapy that Adam told me about years and years and years ago. Honestly, I don't even know if they do this anymore, but they can just keep transferring an inmate, keep transferring him, and literally just like he will be on the road for years. Usually they'll do it with people that are very, very, they need like a timeout, right? They need a break and they want to punish them, and it is no fun. Again, he hasn't explained it to me in years and years. He told me about this when we were in Allenwood, and he was in Allenwood, and we had a friend who was on diesel therapy. And to be honest, it was, so that was over 10 years ago, because he's been at McKean for 10 years. I'm saying that to tell you, I don't know anybody that's done it recently, and I don't know if they even still do it. So I can find out more about that, but that's something that does happen, not too commonly. Don't know if it happens anymore. Probably does, because why would they change rules like that? But typically, the way that a transfer works, if it is not for disciplinary, is that they can put in once every 18 months when they go to their team meeting, which is like with their counselor, and they talk about, you know, if they want to move, they talk about things like what they've accomplished and their good time and that kind of stuff. It's just kind of like when you have your annual review at work. They have this, they call it team or a team meeting every 18 months. Does it always happen? Who knows? Does anything productive really happen? No. Like I remember Adam told me when he used to be a bad boy, when he would go to team and he was like pissed off. He's very reformed, you guys, but this is, I'm talking when he was like 23 years old, still trying to grapple with this life sentence that he got for really just robbery, and was in a bit of a funk. He wasn't always a good boy, but this was again like back in 2001, and he would go to team and he would ask them to print off his good time. And people don't know, like they didn't automatically know how much time he had, right? So 213 years, and you get good time. This was back when, I'm telling you, it was so long ago, printers weren't just like laser and inkjet that they just put it out like that. It was back when it would be like, ee, and then go back, ee, right? And every line would print for like 100 pages. And that was his big, like, like, beep you to somebody that he was mad about. Not funny, right? Funny, not funny, hashtag. So anyway, so you could put in for a team. So you can't just go in one day and be like, I want to transfer. Although you could be like, you know, I didn't put in for my transfer at team last year. I've been at this one institution for 18 months. Can I transfer? So it's about every 18 months that you can transfer. And there are stipulations like no disciplinaries. Your points have to be low enough if you're going down to a different level. And honestly, they can just say no. Like Lauren was telling me that she had a friend who the warden at the facility just loved him so much he would deny. He denied his transfers for years just because he wanted him there because he liked him. He was a good guy and he was actually high profile. He was kind of like a little famous with music in their community. So they liked to have him there. He kept the peace. And so what I'm trying to say by saying that is not every transfer is going to be approved. So when you do finally put in for your transfer, I believe you can put in for 2, 3, or 4 places. This is not 2. 3 or 4 places, and then they will supposedly try to, if they like you, make you land at one of those places. So Adam was telling me last year when he wanted to transfer, he's like, but they don't have to. He goes, right now they don't like me here. So they could send me clear across the country. Like I could put in for somewhere, but they can send me, like I could put in for somewhere in New York and they can send me to Texas because they don't like me because they can punish me. Again, does that usually happen? No. Can that happen? Absolutely. Can it happen if somebody has like a vendetta against you? Sadly, yeah. And sadly, unfortunately, it is an abuse of power that we all see on a daily basis. I'm not trying to scare you guys. Usually you go where you want to go or one of those 3 or 4 places, but sometimes not. It's not always a 100% guarantee. So what happens when it's time to transfer? They will not tell you when they're going to transfer you. They will not tell you where they're going to transfer you. They do this for security reasons, and it's understandable. They don't want the inmate to call home and be like, hey, I'm going to be on the road this and this day. I'm going to be here, so come pick me up in between. Break me out. You know, they do everything very specifically for safety and security reasons, and I do understand a lot of it. So they will not tell you when you're going. What they're going to do is either the night before, they're going to put you in the hole. They're going to put you in, what's that called? That's slang. It's called, like solitary confinement, right? The single housing unit. Single housing unit? Is that what SHU stands for? Solitary housing unit? I don't know. It's the hole. You guys know what the hole is. Solitary confinement if you don't. And then they're going to wake you up in the middle. They're going to shut down your phone. They're going to shut down your email. You're not going to be able to contact anybody. That's why you're in solitary. And then they're going to wake you up in the middle of the night. And they're going to put you on a bus. And they're going to shackle you. They're going to shackle you. They're going to cuff you. They're going to shackle your feet. They're going to put a belly chain around you. And then Adam has actually an extra layer of security. It's called black box security. So they do this with certain level of inmates. Adam has this automatically added to him because, or did, I think it's taken off by now, but because of the amount of time that he has with his case, was automatically a black box security level. I think throughout the years he's worked that off. I'm not positive. But what that means is it's actually a black box that they put over the chain of your cuffs. So it's just an additional layer of security that you can't like wiggle your cuffs off, right? So it's called black box level of security. And so again, shackles, belly chain, handcuffs, and for certain people, black box. I don't know if there's higher levels of security than that. I'm not sure. They also do not let you wear regular clothes, no jumpsuits. It is a paper suit that you're wearing. So you're not transferring with like cotton clothing. I've heard of that for different reasons. I've heard of that because of sanity. They could just throw it away so that you don't... Sanity. No. What's the word I'm looking for? Not sanity. What's the word? Sanity. That's hysterical. Sanitary. Wow. Wow, Ro. Wow. Moment of silence for that mess up. Anyway, for sanitary reasons, so they could just throw it away. I also heard it for if you try to escape and run away, like eventually your paper suit is going to come off, so you will not have clothes on. And so it is probably easier to catch somebody running around naked than it is to catch somebody who is running around in regular clothes, right? It's going to like be an eyesore if somebody sees somebody running around in paper clothes or without clothes. But then again, like I don't know if that's actually true or rumor, but inmate.com type of prisonwifeinmate.com type of stuff. But I do know I'm going to go with the sanitary thing. It just makes more sense. So anyway, that's what you wear. That's how you're transferred. And then you're not going to go directly to, in the feds, you're not going to go directly to the facility where you're going to wind up. There are central locations, like transfer hubs in every region. So I know that USP Atlanta is one. I know that USP Canaan in Pennsylvania is the one for the mid-Atlantic region. I know that Oklahoma is the one for that southern, I don't know exactly the region. I don't know how it's broken up down there, but I know Oklahoma is one. I know, I believe Arizona might be the one for the out west region, but I'm not positive. But they will wind up there for however long it takes for them to get a bed, for them to get enough people on the bus or the plane to get to the next location where they're going. So we had a girl who commented on the live video who I'm friends with, and her husband went from FCI McKean to USP Canaan for a little while to MDC, is that what it is? FDC Brooklyn for a little while, and then he made his way down to Jersey to Fairton. So they could just bounce you around a little bit. Also depends on your case. It depends on affiliations. And this isn't about that person. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. It depends on your case. It depends on your affiliations. It depends on if you have people, like yards that you can't walk. It's called, what's it called? Lauren just said the word the other day. Separate. So if you have to remain separate from certain inmates, if they are at that facility, if they're on the bus or whatever, they can't put you guys on the same bus or on the same yard, then it just might take you a little bit longer. And if they just want to be jerks, if they don't like you, if for some reason they have something against you. So you will wind up at your transfer facility for a little while. For you guys that have an inmate that is in the process of transferring, this is how you figure out where they are. You just look on bop.gov, inmate locator. You type in their name. It goes, you could put in name, register number, gender, and then age. Those are some of the options you can put in, but usually if you just have their name or register number, it works. The reason why they break it down the other way is because a lot of times there are inmates with the exact same name. So then you will look and see where it says that they are. Now I'm going to tell you this. It will say in transit if they're on the road. It will say the name of the transfer facility if they're there, and then eventually it'll say every place that they're going. But it doesn't update every time they move. It updates once every 24 hours. I believe it's early in the morning. So like if I look at 8 o'clock in the morning and it says that he's at USP Canaan, it'll remain USP Canaan until the next day. So you don't have to go in like every 5 minutes and check. It's not going to change at 8 o'clock at night. It's not going to change at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's going to change when they update. I believe it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, but I'm not positive. So you don't have to just like, you know how we get nervous and like incessantly check and check and check and check? It's not going to change. So don't do that to yourself. So it will be updated on there though when they do move. And then you're going to just have to wait when they get to their spot. You'll know it by checking the locator, and then you just have to wait for them to get there and then wait to hear from them. It can take a couple days for them to turn on their email. It can take a couple days for them to turn on their phone. Oh, let's rewind back to to the transfer facility. Some inmates will have access to email and phone while they're there. Some don't. Most do, unless they have like a very high profile case and they don't want anybody to be in contact with them while they're moving. I also know that my husband does have access to that stuff, but he will not contact me while he's on the road. He will just wait to get to where he needs to go. We're both old enough and mature enough to be okay with that, and that's because he has been burned so many times. He is high profile, he has a lot of time, and he never wants to mess up or potentially cause any problems with where he's going to finally end up. So for safety and security, now you also have to remember Adam is an old school inmate. He's been down a really long time and he's seen a lot of stuff happen. So it could be a little bit of institutionalization. It could be a little bit of PTSD type of scars from things that he's seen happen, things that have happened. So is that likely to happen, that they'll like mess up a whole entire transfer because of an inmate contacting his family when they're allowed to email or call? No, that's not common. Could it happen? Sure. We err on the side of caution because he's just a very, very cautious person when it comes to this kind of stuff. So that's just like, I guess, another PSA for you guys. But, you know, I'm okay with it. If I don't hear from him for a couple weeks because I know he's on the road and he wants to make sure he gets to where he's going, yeah, it'll suck. But it's no different than not hearing from him when he's on lockdown or the couple times that he was in the hole, bogus reasons, a long time ago. So it's just, I know that I'll hear from him when it's okay, and I can hear from him. You might not hear from him. Again, it might take them a couple days to turn on their phones, to turn on their emails. They might get it right away, they might not. It's just a matter of a waiting game. You'll know they're there because you check the inmate locator, and then you'll hear from him when you hear from him. Also, their money transfers with them. You don't have to do anything with that. It's all the same account, so you're not going to have to take money out and re-put it in a different account. It's all the same in the feds. Their visit list will transfer with them. So if you're on his visit list at one facility, you don't have to resubmit a visit application. At the new facility, you will be able to visit as soon as you can visit him. The phone list will transfer, your email list will transfer. All of that stuff now is electronic. Back in the day, you would have to redo that. You would have to change their money over. It's a pain in the butt. But now it's all automated as it should be. It's all one system as it should be, and you'll be okay there. Transferring, I know Heather said this on my live video last night that I had to pull down, is very expensive. It's very expensive for everybody involved because they can't take a lot of stuff with them. When they get to a new place, they have to restock everything. I remember it cost us a couple $1,000s when Adam first moved, and I had no idea about this until a dear friend of mine, her boyfriend, was like, hey, just give Ro a heads up. She probably doesn't know this because I was so new to this. At that first time that he transferred, he probably needs a little bit of extra money. He would never ask me for that, but coming from my dear trusted friend whose boyfriend was a dear trusted boyfriend, I knew that he would be suffering and struggling if I didn't put some extra money on the books. So I'm telling you that to say, you might want to, if you know a transfer's coming, you might want to just start saving some extra money, maybe not putting as much money on the phone, maybe not going to as many visits when you're waiting for him to transfer and you know one's coming up, because he's going to need some extra money, and that's not him using you. That is coming from me, who has no skin in your game, telling you that he's going to need some extra money, and hopefully he'll get in with a good crowd. A lot of people, especially, this is me talking about the feds right now, you guys, I don't know much about states, but they'll know, they'll get a list of names and they'll know who's coming. And when you've been in a system for long enough, you know who's coming and you know who you're going to take care of. You know what I'm saying by that? Like, that, if you're a good person and you have a good reputation, because your reputation will precede you, we'll get to that facility long before you do. That's why Adam has worked really hard to develop and keep his reputation because first of all, that's his personality. He lives in integrity, but also because that reputation precedes you and it follows you, and it'll land at the facility way before you do. They're going to know you're coming. So, he's had people who have looked out for him, who have had stuff ready for him when he's gotten to where he needs to go, and he's done that vice versa for people where he knows that they're coming there. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I think that's it on transfers. I said this last night and I'm going to say it again. I was actually waiting to make this video because a couple of years ago, and ever since, we've talked about Adam potentially transferring. We're holding off for a little while, just because we have a lot of litigation open. There's a lot of balls in the air for us right now. So instead of, he hates transferring, who doesn't? But it's just a very uncomfortable situation. Not saying not to do it because it's uncomfortable. It's just crappy while you're going through it. Like this sausage, a whole bunch of people on a bus. I remember last time he transferred, he told me he was getting off of the bus and his shackle, the chain of the shackles, got caught in the step of the bus and he almost went down, and the cop was just standing there and he's like, can I get a little help here? Not like you can help yourself. You're handcuffed and you're belly chained, right? So you can't help yourself out. The guy barely helped him, almost let him fall and break his teeth, which sucked. Also, they feed you bag lunch. You're trying to eat like this. God forbid you have to go to the bathroom. I don't even know what happens there. I asked him, he's like, you gotta hold it. So it's just, it's uncomfortable. It's worth it if you're going to a better place, but it's uncomfortable. So I was waiting to make this video because I thought I would make it in real time with my emotions and fill you in as he was transferring. However, we're waiting and this question came up and I figured, you know what, I could do both. If he does wind up transferring in the near future or in the late future, let's hope he transfers to my bed. But if that doesn't happen, I'll do that too. Can't hurt to have multiple videos. So I believe that that's all I have about transfers. I have not done one in almost 10 years. I've not lived through it. I know we have a lot of members who have. So if you guys have any tips, any tricks, any suggestions, anything that you figured out while doing this to make it easier for you, any things that people need to avoid or not do, or do when they have a loved one who is transferring, please comment below. That would be so much appreciated, because again, like, we're all learning from each other. I didn't know I needed to send that extra money until my friend told me that. I had no idea, because I didn't go through this. That's why I make these videos. That's why I develop Strong Prison Wives and Families, so we can all exchange that information and learn from one another and support each other through all of this. So I will see you guys tomorrow. You keep staying strong, keep loving strong, keep supporting one another through this journey, because you're one day closer to it all being behind you. Lots of love from my heart to yours. I will see you, beautiful ladies and gentlemen, in the next one. In the meantime, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure that you like this video. Share it with whoever needs it, because you know what? She needs that support. He needs that support just as much as you. And if you're not subscribed, hello, what are you waiting for? Because we do not want you to miss a thing here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.